morning and welcome to Money Wisdom, sponsored by Johnson Brunetti. I'm Jalene Andrews. We're teaching you smart ways to manage your money, and joining us now with expert advice is Eric Hogarth, a certified financial planner and senior partner at Johnson Brunetti. Thanks for being here, Eric.
Good morning, Jillian. Great to be here.
All right, so today we're discussing how to navigate inflation, specifically the Fed strategy and interest rates. First, you say people should know that interest rates are the primary tool used to manage inflation.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people care about this. I mean, I know it's what we're talking about because it's confusing and it gets to, do I have to worry about this? How does this impact me? It is a very important tool for managing our economy, but who we're talking to all day, every day are people working, living, saving in retirement, and what does this mean for me? So interest rates play a huge deal. So does inflation, because everything costs more money. It's a question of how much more money.
Sure, but people don't need to necessarily freak out about a change here or there, is what you're saying.
People need to be looking at their budgets and what they're spending money on. I mean, I have Megan and I, we have 3 little kids. I know how much groceries cost, and it's a ton. And it's a lot more than last year. So when you hear about inflation, it's like 2%. I'm like, really? Because milk costs a lot more than 2% more than it did last year. So you need to look at how it's impacting your spending and also your savings.
All right, our next bullet here is that rates have not changed from 5.25% to 5.5% since last summer.
Yeah, so interest rates and inflation, right? So things going up in price, we don't like that. Interest rates going up, it depends where you are in life. If you are approaching retirement and you're buying CDs, or you have a high interest money market account making 5%, awesome. If you were buying your first house and you were getting a mortgage and a few years ago you get 3%, now you're looking at 7%, awful. So it's really going to impact how you're saving, what you're doing, how you're living. So pay close attention to it. It's not just the money you save, the money you're earning, it's what is it doing for you and how are you going to use it.
All right, third here is during the 2022 and 2023 cycle, the Fed increased rates 11 times to slow inflation.
Yeah, I mean, if inflation, if you look worldwide, if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, a place like Argentina, and I don't know how closely people are watching the economy of Argentina, their inflation pushes up north of 50%, 100%.
Wow.
It makes no sense to save the money. So if our interest rates are really, really low, it's great if you're buying a house, but no one's going to save any money in the bank if you're making 0.01%. At the same time, if inflation is super high, then people don't spend as much money. So it's this balance that people need to be spending, people need to be saving, and that's the relationship of it. So the reason that interest rate kept moving up and why it stayed up is to keep inflation lower, which is a good thing.
Yeah, there sounds like there's really 2 sides to it.
It's balance,
yeah.
Right? It's both sides of the economy, which are important for everyone living, working in the United States.
Yep, and the Fed is taxed with trying to figure out that job, right?
Yeah, not a fun job.
All right, and lastly here, it's possible that rates begin to decline in the near future.
So look at this longer term. So we need, regardless of your phase of life, we all need 3 buckets of money. Bucket number 1 is we all have a cost of living to live how we want to live. We need a monthly income coming in, whether you're working or retired. Bucket number 2 is you need access to more money for something fun. I go on vacation, something bad, my furnace breaks. Bucket number 3 is you need something growing for later. And this is where a lot of people miss out, that if you're saving all of your long-term money in the bank or in CDs, you're talking about very short-term stuff, and you're not going to spend all your money right now. You need something for later. Make sure you're not overlooking that.
Okay, wonderful. And for people interested in learning more, there is, of course, a book offer.
A book, it's Inflation and Your Retirement. And it's a really big deal because sometimes our foresight is very short, and we just think about, well, I've got a great rate in the bank right now. Well, 2 years ago you didn't, and 6 months from now you might not. So your plan has to encompass more than just what you are doing today. What are you going to do in the future? And that's where planning comes in. So I really encourage people to get the book. You can get it at moneywisdomtv.com. Talks about retirement, inflation, interest rates, all things that you should educate yourself on.
All right, moneywisdomtv.com. Thank you so much for your time today, Eric.
Thank you.
All right, for Connecticut's Morning Buzz, I'm Jalene Andrews. We'll see you next time.